Aloha and welcome back to another video. This is my fourth video in my Punisher Circle of Blood series. So if you haven't seen those videos, then click the card in the top right. And basically this is going over issue 3 and my thoughts on it, a plot summary and so forth. So it's a fun ride, so join me in Slaughterday. And here is issue 3. And as you can see, there's one of the Dons that is leaving a local restaurant. Anyways, and someone actually is there to gun him down, you know, and this just kind of continues to show how much chaos is unraveling throughout the city, the underbelly of the city, and how many people are getting caught in the crossfire. Really, it's as if the underbelly is becoming, you know, bubbling to the surface, right? The sin and destruction that the mob brings is now being brought to the limelight because it's affecting everyone. And, you know, that's the big problem, right? The Punisher wants these people dead, but not at all costs. You know, there's a limit to everything, and the Punisher's limit is the amount of people that are dying. So he happens to be there just in the nick of time in Slaughterday. You gotta love this. Gotta love their facial expressions and all those, the color work and shadows and such. I like all the the muscles and things. It's like, look at his eyebrows, jeez, or like above his eyebrows. Anyways, so the Punisher's there in the nick of time and saves the Dawn, and he's trigger happy, and he says, and the Punisher says, keep in mind that I'm all that stands between you and eject says bullets. And he's driving him along, and a high-speed chase here. They jump out of the car last minute, it explodes, and the Punisher then runs towards the car that's coming towards him, but that's because he's going to jump down in the manhole, shoots the car from underneath, blows the car up, and then when he gets up, he has an epic talk to the Don that he saved and explains to him why he saved him. And basically, he wants him to be kind of his tool in order to bring structure back to the crime world, and wants him to spread the word that if you don't get this worked out and the gangs don't kind of come to a peace agreement, there's going to be nobody left to control the gangs, basically. Nobody left to control the city. And even though the Punisher wants nobody left, he doesn't want things to go down this way, right? Because there's too much blood, innocent blood that's being spilt in the crossfire. And he goes back to the apartment and everything with the woman that was supplied by the trust, and he's really not he's really thinking something's up with the trust, and that they're somehow responsible for a lot of this. And some of the things that the woman that is with him, some of the things that she says also kind of tick him off. And we cut back to the trust themselves, and it's obvious by now to the reader that they're not all that they are cracked up to be. And the Punisher looks outside the window and sees a car and someone spying on him, and it happens to be the guy that we saw earlier at the end of issue 1, right? And the guy that's his father was killed by the Punisher before he got in prison, and now has a vendetta against him. So the Punisher goes outside and cracks through the window and everything, and basically attacks the guy and says that it figures out what's going on, figures out that the guy wants to kill him, but the son, isn't actually going to kill the Punisher yet. And it says he's going to kill him later, and that he likes what the Punisher's doing currently and wants there to be peace. And the Punisher basically tells him, hey, if you want to kill me now, but you're going to be just like your father. If you kill him, you're going to end up dead, or you're going to cause more chaos, because if I can't stop this, no one can stop this. And if you kill me, think about what's going to happen to the rest of the city. So they come to kind of a standstill, and the Punisher walks off, and the guy still drives off into the night, still kind of waiting for his moment. The Punisher then breaks into another Don's house. It looks like a business, it looks like, bakery, and threatens him and tells him once again, just like the other dude, that they need to come to some kind of peace agreement. And then he goes to said peace agreement, And while he's there, someone else dressed up as the Punisher actually starts blasting people away and seems to want the chaos to continue. And that's kind of the big twist here. And the Punisher hops in and kills the doppelganger just in time. But one of the guys that the guy earlier at the very beginning of this issue that he saved from being shot, that walked out of that building, he agreed that if he would help him, that if the guy in blue, if he would help the Punisher in stopping all the violence, that he wouldn't let him die. And, oh, you're going to keep your promise, Punisher? Is this how you keep your promises? And then he fades away. And the Punisher is, left sad, knows that he told him something, made him a promise that he wasn't able to keep, and sure, it's out of his control, but nonetheless, it's still a sad scene. And later on, you see right here that there's a bunch of Punisher doppelgangers, and that there's a ton of them, and that they're being trained to be the Punisher, and they seem drone-like in a sense, almost as if they're hypnotized. And the Punisher breaks in, as you can see, and is trying to figure out what's going on. He figures out that he's actually employed by the Trust, and that the Trust is basically brainwashing brainwashing criminals to be like the Punisher, and are being used to kind of to increase the violence. And the Punisher still doesn't know exactly why all this is going on and how this is going on, but we get the gist now of what the story entails. And the Punisher has to then fight through an army of Punishers, and the guy runs off, and he's able to run through, but the guy in a flurry shoots behind him at the Punisher, but instead of shooting the Punisher, he shoots a innocent child. And that sends PTSD flashbacks through the mind of the Punisher and reminds him of his family that was killed. The guy runs off, and he's freaking out, and he didn't mean to, and the woman's crying. The guy runs off into a nearby alley, and the Punisher then goes and is going to talk to him, but before he can, some woman, silhouette of a woman, shoots him. And you figure out, and also then shoots the Punisher, and you figure out it's Angelina, the woman that was in the apartment and was kind of was given to him by the Trust, so to speak, was just kind of lived with him in the apartment. But she was actually bad the whole time, and yeah, the Trust is basically trying to continue to stir the pot of violence throughout the city in hopes that they're able to thin out the violence that way.